Wired Axcess.
We'll do it live.
Wired Access.
Do it live.
Wired Access.
We'll do it live.
Wired Axcess.
Welcome to Wired Access Podcast. I'm your host, DJ K-Dove, Omaha. This is a Hurrdat production. And please remember, if you like this message or any other videos that you have seen, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the thumbs up, share it, retweet it, whatever you feel you got to do. But today I'm keeping that softball theme rolling, as you might have seen these past couple of weeks. We had our coach on 2 weeks ago. We had Omaha West Side softball coach on this last week. But this week we have Papillion-La Vista Monarch, Kamira Botos. Kamira Botos, welcome to the show. Miss, we could say state champion. We could say college committed. We could say all these exciting things about a 2024 grad. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Man, softball in this state is just really starting to pick up a lot of traction. A lot of you girls are grabbing on and you're taking it to another level. You guys got to play at UNO, which has not happened before. But before we could ever get to there, you're a multi-sport athlete. What do you remember of even starting to love sports or get really into sports for yourself?
I think it was just like growing up. My parents just always had sports on, and my dad was kind of just like a athlete junkie. So he put us into the sports he played when he was younger. And ever since I picked up that ball when I was little, it just kind of took off and the love for it grew.
Now, of course, you are a Monarch. There's a history at the Monarchs. What do you remember even about going or choosing that's where you wanted to go to high school?
Yeah, I knew that there was like a good reputation there. I remember going to like all the camps when I was little and like watching the games and seeing all the big accomplishments they had back then. And I always thought it would be super cool to just go out there and play for Coach Peterson and the Monarch softball.
So when you speak of a name like Coach Peterson, obviously he has 17 years at that high school. But it also goes to your select team. When you played your select ball, do you remember coaches like him coming out, watching you girls play at a select team that was not dealing with the high school? Anything in the 8th grade, 7th grade time period?
I don't remember him ever coming out to club. I don't think I really paid that much attention. I was just kind of like focused on the game and like after and like getting to where I want to be. Yeah.
When you think of the club and you think of that, what's your favorite travel place to go? Because softball, everybody wants to talk about Tulsa. That's where they love to go. But was that your favorite place when you had to go traveling?
Mine was Colorado. I just like the scenery and, it was easier to hit home runs with the altitude. So that's probably my favorite place.
Well, when you speak of the home runs and you speak of all that, do you even remember where your first home run was and what the reaction from mom and dad was? Because obviously the thing that I always notice and a lot of people notice is having that family support that I see at your family is they want to be there no matter what they have to do with their job. And it's hard. Two parents got to work, but they got to be there. Do you remember that first reaction in your first home run?
Oh, I definitely do. It was at Doris Bear, and I was playing for Quakes Jonas. And this was a championship game. So the game before, my dad came up to me and said, if I hit a home run, I get a pair of Yeezys.
Simple, done,
yeah.
Sold. She's
and
like.
And then my next at bat, I hit a home run and I got my Yeezys.
Okay, I was just gonna ask the hardest question: did he pay up? But he paid up. Now, softball is only one aspect that you played. Basketball was another thing that you loved. What did you love about basketball, and how did that help your softball game?
Basketball, I also just played growing up. I really loved the girls. Like the team was just fun. Like basketball, it was just like competitive. It was like a quick game. Like softball, it was like you got to go here and you got to go back. There's not much time to like think about like what you just did. You just got to move on.
You're bringing and saying some words that some kids obviously have a struggle with. The word "move on." What do you think that dates back for you? And do you remember when you couldn't just move on? Do you remember those rough days? And what got you over that hump?
I do remember the rough days, that's for sure. And I guess like my dad would always just take me up and he just like work on we just critique like one little thing at a time. Like we'd work on one thing one day and then the next the other day, and it just kind of all added up, and all the practices and hard work kind of got me over the hump. And I just kept telling myself like I've been here before, I've done this before, like just got to keep going and then everything will pay off.
I think when you can have that mindset of been here, done that, No matter even if it is the championship game that you might not have been there, done that before, but just on the baseball field alone or softball field, sorry, it's got to mean something to you when you're able to just flip that switch. When you look at the comparison between club and high school, what is the biggest thing that you think you struggled with at the high competitive level? And what do you think is the thing that you were able to overcome that most people might let sit in their head?
High school, I kind of had a rough start in the beginning, but my coaches talked me through it, and they were like, "We know how good you are. Like, we still have all the confidence in the world in you, and you got this. Just keep pushing." And towards the end, like districts and state, I started to come out of it. And then club, it's just different because it's like just you're playing. It's just for fun. Like, they're not really playing for much. Like, you don't really have somewhere you want to get. But like softball, you want to get to Omaha, you want to get to that state championship game, you want to win that title. But for club, it's just like, let's win this tournament.
See, and it's weird because people talk about like the World Series, and they have obviously the Little League World Series. Is there such a thing there for softball that you guys had as a goal, or was it only had to be a certain way? Because I know for my son's baseball and select, there was no talk about Little League World Series. That was not an option. It was not even a thought in the world.
Yeah, there's not much talk about that. It's just like the tournament games. Like, we want to do good. We want to start off hot in the bracket or the pool play to get to good bracket and just try to win as much tournaments as we could.
And when you think of your softball career and growing up from the early ages, who's someone that you kind of might have looked up to and was hoping that that was kind of the style that you and the swagger that you would have as you were a senior this year?
I definitely looked up to Jordy Ball, like just like her confidence and like her like swag and just how she plays and just how good she is and her work ethic and just everything about her.
Yeah, we had her on in the middle of the summer after she announced that she was coming back to Nebraska. When you see that atmosphere change the game, that's the persona, but it's also something where she was very honest in those interviews. She was telling, like, you think you want to be who these people are. You think you want to be a college athlete. You think you want to be a high school athlete. But even at a high school athlete level, what are some things that you felt that you might have missed out or couldn't attend, couldn't do? And some people just don't realize if you have goals, you have to understand where your priorities are.
Yeah.
See, and you don't even probably think you sacrificed anything. You're like, no, I didn't sacrifice anything. But I'm pretty sure if dad was to bring it up or someone could bring up and say, well, there was a couple times the friends asked, she said no, she had to do work. Like not all friends, but you also hung around a lot of your sports friends. So you hope that they do.
Yeah.
But not everybody gets that aspect. When you look at your daily routine and your schedule through a week, what's harder for you when you're in softball season or when you're in basketball season?
Definitely softball, because softball we can play like 3 games a day and we're leaving at like 12 and we got to be there 3 hours early. And I missed like 3 whole days of school for state. But basketball, the games are usually at like 5:30, like at our schools, and we only have to warm up for an hour. So I don't really miss much.
It's so weird because they're like, it's the same. But you said state. Let's talk about this year in state. You guys came in, you guys had a little struggles earlier in the year. As a senior, what did that mean for you guys to overcome those struggles just to get to where you were in state?
Yeah, I knew once we went all the way to Missouri Western and lost that game, I was like, so we started talking to them, like us seniors, we were like, okay, like we got to practice harder. We got to show up. We got to do all this stuff, and we got to like listen to what they're saying. We got to condition. We got to get mentally tougher. Like, we just aren't there right now, and we got a long way to get if we want to get to Omaha.
So being a player-led over a coach constantly talking, how does that really make your environment there at the Monarchs just different than what some people experience?
I think it just like builds our team like culture, because like once someone says something, everyone else is like, yeah, I agree, like we got to do this, we got to do that. And it just kind of like builds our like team bonding. Like, we get closer, like we all start agreeing, we're all on the same page, like we all want the same thing. And yeah.
And of course, you said earlier in your high school career, there was some struggles when it came to softball. You didn't feel you were where you wanted to be. One thing I know Coach Peterson offers for you guys is mental support, mental classes, mental talking. What is that like? Because it's not what you do in club. I mean, club, like you said, you just go play. What did it mean to have those moments, not just to impact yourself, but also bring your team closer?
Yeah, it just made us realize and think of like what we need to improve on. And there was some stuff that he told us, and like he made us listen to other stuff that really helped us, like write down your best moment and replay it in your head if you feel like you're not doing well. And we got to like learn about our teammates. Like we got to learn if someone was struggling. Like we could tell, like if they're usually loud and then they're quiet, we like knew what to do to help them and get them out of the mental state.
Wow, get them over the hump or get them on that side. You get to your state game. Obviously, it's an atmosphere that some are used to if you've played in big tournaments out of state, but not every girl is in that state of mind on your team. You have to get some of them to realize how big that stage was. What was that like when you guys walked out on that stadium to see everybody behind you? Both teams. I mean, it was a packed house. There was 4,400 people that came through those gates. They had obviously a DJ, myself, which was fun. That was awesome. A different experience. It was just, it felt like you were at any local ball game for semi-pro, pro. I mean, majors, minor league. Like you felt like you were in that atmosphere.
Yeah, well, when we first walked out, we weren't expecting that big of a crowd because no one ever really comes out to softball. So once we saw that, we were like, wow, like this is going to be fun. So when we went to the pitcher's mound, we like circled up. We were like, all right, we got to take deep breaths. We just got to tune everything outside of the lines. Just got to focus in on in between the lines and just do our game. Like nothing's changed.
I like that you said nothing's changed. You had a big hit early in the game, got a double, got a run, the first run on the board. Talk about that moment. What do you remember about it?
I just remember I was like, just got to put the ball in play. Like just make hard contact. Like runner on second, just make anything in the outfield's going to score. I was just thinking like hard contact, like you've done this before, deep breaths. And then once I hit it, I started trying to hype out the dugout.
Now, I remember later in the game, this is the best part of just being able to see the emotions and see the reactions. There was just some talk when the batting wasn't going the way it was supposed to. Coach pulled you guys off to the side, stop for a moment in the middle of a bat. What was some of the things that you remember him talking to you guys about to finish up the game strong and to really put the game away as you guys did in that last couple innings?
Yeah, he told us, he was like, try not to do too much, like sing base hits, win ball games, like just keep hitting and just, like go back in the box and watch that rise ball because anytime you're going to hit that, it's either going to go into the air or you're just going to miss it. So he's like, take your pitches, get your pitch, don't try to do too much.
Now, of course, we talk about winning the championship. It's the best part of what you have accomplished in this team. What was that like with these girls, and what was the legacy that you felt the 2024 class left with the Monarchs as you guys rolled to the 6th of Coach Peterson's 17th year?
I'm definitely super proud of my team. Like we worked hard. Like after the big hump of the losing streak in the beginning of the year, we locked in and got to our goal, I'd say.
Well, you obviously, after you won the championship, you made a big announcement. You said you're going to Northern State University. What was that recruiting process like? Because sometimes you see some of your teammates get all eyes on, everybody's on, and then all of a sudden it just will go quiet for a while. And then it comes back on hot, and then you're quiet. What was the whole recruiting process for you? And did you feel like you had enough people that kind of reached out and seen what you were about?
It was super stressful at the beginning. Like I didn't know like even where to start. Like I was just emailing a bunch of coaches, going to as much camps as I could. But then Coach P and Holscher, they started helping because they're started reaching out to coaches, telling them to come to my game, start watching me. And then some coaches started reaching out and telling me like that they want me on campus for visits and stuff.
And when you think of your first campus visit, what was that feeling like to you, and how did the family impact that? Was it because I always, some people are like, man, you could do interviews anytime with these kids. Why do you wait until they make that decision? I said, because the amount of stress that you got to go through, I couldn't imagine. I unfortunately didn't get recruited for any sport or didn't go through that. But there's plenty of kids that I always just hope this message gets out to one, and it helps them understand that they're not alone in that process.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like, having the family by and going through that?
It definitely helped a lot with the family because they were like, we're going to make the drives. Like, if you want to come home, we'll drive out there. We'll get you. We'll take you home. We're going to go to every game we can. Like, we're not going to miss one. And they're always just telling me that they'll be there and they'll make the trips and everything for that. But I really love the campus. It was super nice. Like, everything was just like right there. Like, everything was walkable. Like the softball, football, baseball, everything, every field was just like right there too.
Well, and I'm pretty sure you might be able to express on this feeling. You feel it's your home. What was that like? Because that's what I always tell people. You might want to go Division 1, you might want to go Division 2, you might want to go where, but I think once you're there. Because I thought my daughter, my oldest, we did a couple visits. Kearney, a teaching school. Northwest Missouri State, a teaching school. And I'm like, these are nice small campuses. And then we go to Lincoln Teacher School, and she just was like, this is it. This is where I want to be. Like, what was that?
When the coach really sold me because she just like was so personable. Like she was like getting to know me. Like she felt like just like my mom. Like she just understood me. And I was like, yeah, like this, I really like her. Like this is gonna be my place.
Now, of course, it does help that you have another Monarch going with you. And I believe her older sister, did she play or does she play or coach there?
Yeah, she went there for, I think, her super senior year and then graduated.
So what's that like, knowing that this has been done and is being done with someone else, that you can build a team together?
Yeah, I think that's what also sold me too. It's just like I have like a little bit of home like coming with me, and I have like other people I know that are freshman classes, and then my club teammate committed there too, and she's there too. So I know a couple
so
people there.
Be watching out for the Wolves if you don't know.
Yes.
Academically, what is the goal there? What are you looking to hope to get out of the college? Obviously, the softball is going to be fun, but we obviously are looking to hopefully make sure that we have something coming out on the other side.
I'm gonna go and study criminal justice and hopefully become an FBI.
Ooh, action. So
Yep.
You like the action there.
Yes.
You're obviously one of the biggest supporters of your team. You're the one that really picks them up. How hard is it to hold that also above yourself, to know that no matter how you might feel, whether you could be down because your cat ran away, you still have to always show that smile? What are those moments like, and what do you think you do to be that person for your team?
My teammates definitely make it easy because like when I'm around them, they just make me forget about almost everything just by like what they tell me and stuff. So they make it really easy. And I feel like if I just am myself around them, like it gets them to be themselves and like everything's just like loose and fun. So
you are finishing your senior year here as the Monarchs. What do you think that you left for the school, and what are you hoping that it helps for the future?
just like my like work ethic and just being like a good teammate, like just like friendly with everyone, like volleyball players and all the other sports too, and like going out and supporting other teams, like when volleyball made it to state, and just like we like work hard, like we're not here to mess around, like we have a goal and we want to get there, and like if you're not focused and you're not ready to go, then you might as well just go to Baptist South.
Hey, hold on. I don't even have a mic, but there's one that was dropped. I mean, and I'll let her drop it. You know, I mean, my kids are Titans, but it's okay. Because I was not afraid to say I feel a difference on the football culture. I feel a difference on the softball culture. You could feel the culture is changing in the right direction. They had some tough years, basketball and all that. Basketball, everybody knows that you run around like a chicken with your head cut off. What made you stay with softball over basketball? And do you think that you'll just be done with basketball? Or do you think you'll pick up some intramurals down there at the college?
Definitely think I'll pick up intramurals. And I think it was just softball because that's like the sport I've like worked on outside of like actual practice. Like I've only done basketball like practices. Like sometimes I'll just go like shoot around if I'm struggling shooting. But like I've never like actually like gone to like a hitting coach like for basketball. I've never gone to like a trainer. I've just always like shot around with my dad like in the front yard.
Well, and you brought up a good subject that some athletes understand, some athletes struggle. And it's not always them. Sometimes it's finances. Sometimes it's a parent that wants to take them. You know, those aren't always guaranteed. What's some of the extra activities that you had to do for softball to get you to where you are today?
I did hitting lessons when I played for Quakes. I did hitting lessons with Brad Metzler, and we do like half an hour every time. And then me and my dad every day after school, we just go up, hit bucket of balls, do some tee work for an hour every day with my brother.
Does dad work? No, I'm joking.
I know.
That's what we do. We constantly on the move. And it's
Mhm.
always good to have a brother that's competitive. What is that like in the Botus household of who keeps bringing home the more championships, the more wins, the more strikeouts, the more outs, the more home runs? Like, I know it's got to be a tally mark somewhere in that household. Maybe it's on a fridge. It could be even on dad's phone and you guys just don't know.
Probably. But we're both like super supportive of each other. Like we really don't like make like see who has more because yeah, obviously we're better at some stuff than each other, but that's when like we try to help each other. Like if he's struggling, I'll try to talk to him, tell him that I've been through it and give him my advice, and then same thing with him. He'll like help me through my struggles and
How do you
that stuff.
how did you feel that you got comfortable to where a brother can accept that from a sister? Because obviously sometimes it is intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great that you experienced it, sis. I want to learn it myself.
Yeah.
How did you guys get over that? Was it just the parents had to be involved, or did you feel like you guys just came to that
I think we just
love?
like came to that like once he got older and once I got older, he's like realizing that like I'm not so bad and he's not so bad, and that he only has like a little bit of time left with me before I'm gone and really like grown up. So I think he just came to realize that, and yeah.
All right, senior season basketball. What's your final goals and what was the support of the university? Did they say finish out your senior year, go get what you want, go
Yeah.
have fun? What was that like?
Well, Schilling actually played basketball at Papio, so she's understands and she's like, yes, like you just go out there and you play. Like we're gonna try to come watch because she's from Omaha, and then basketball, my goal is just to get to state because I haven't been to state for basketball in my 3 years. So my goal is to help my team finally get to a state like my 4 years of high school.
Volleyball. You guys came back. You got to go watch it. You said the support. What is that like as a softball team to see that these people were behind you? I mean, that student section was rocking. And then you guys get to do it for them. What was that like as a team? And how do you think that helped the school just come together? I mean, you guys did beat the Titans,
Yeah,
who
we
were
did.
undefeated, not just once, but twice.
Yep.
In the key moments, you know.
Yeah, it was really like fun. The softball girls or volleyball girls came to our game and they were supporting, so we're always super proud of them too. I'm close with like the whole team, so once they got there, it was also super cool because the fall sports, the girl sports are carrying Papio right now, so we tease all the football players about it.
Do you say that you're like Nebraska, right?
Yes.
It's all the female school.
Yep.
Speaking of that, obviously across the whole school, you guys have a lot of success on that side. What's in the culture? What's the thing that you think that just really makes you guys outperform others?
It's definitely our work ethic. Like a lot of people are putting in work and like the practices, like it's not like jack around time. It's like let's like get serious. We're doing this drill, like do it like you would in like the championship game, like championship reps.
And you brought up the atmosphere. Not all girls are going to agree with it. How do those talks go? And have you had to have those talks with some of the girls that want to be at your guys' level and want to be on a varsity level, but still are a lot learning just as you were learning many years ago?
Yeah, we've had a couple talks about it, I guess. We just tell them like, hey, like it'll come, like you'll get used to it, and you'll just be better by doing it so much. So then that's when you'll like start to exhale and like be where you want to be at.
There had to have been a difference between Coach P's practices and your club practices. What would you think is the thing that made them harder but develop you than your club?
Well, Monarchs, Coach P, he just makes us run. So I think we ran like the most I've ever ran in my life, but it's good because we were in shape. Like we played those 7 innings, like, and we weren't like, we were like, it made us
I didn't even
mentally
think
tough.
any of you sweat one bit out there,
Yeah.
but
We made us mentally tough too because like running miles is like hard. And then we just never let go of the gas pedal. We just had all the energy just at high. We never like got tired and came down. It was just all just level.
So, of course, in high school sports, it matters a little more than when you were at a younger age. Your height sometimes matters in the sport. If you had any height, any size, what would be your position on softball that you would really want, or are you at your key position that you've always wanted?
I'm at my key position I've always wanted. I like shortstop. It keeps me busy. I've always got to be somewhere every pitch.
Okay, how about basketball? Do you have to be the point guard, or do you feel like man, if I could just one day be the one that dunks it, I
Yeah.
would love to do that.
Yeah, I would definitely want to be like 6 foot center if I played
Dang
basketball.
parents.
Yeah, I know. So I could just dunk on some people and do some cool post moves.
But of course, you play bigger than you are. What is your best part that you feel when it comes to basketball that you enjoy so much? And what is the thing that you're going to miss?
Definitely the girls I'm gonna miss, and I think I'm just gonna miss basketball in general, like everything about it, because I've also played it since I was really young. Grew up playing like club with like some of the girls I still play with in high school, and seeing them go off playing basketball is gonna be. I'm gonna enjoy it.
All right. The biggest thing is, what is Northern State University getting from Miss Botos? What are you bringing to the table, and what should they be looking out for, and what's your hope to impact?
Definitely my competitiveness. Like I'm gonna work and I'm gonna try to earn a starting spot my freshman year, but I'm also gonna be a good teammate. Like I'm gonna support people and I'm gonna help them and I'm gonna cheer for them when they do good.
You see happen across the state, some of your girls come back, help out with camps, help out with other schools. What does that mean for you, and what is something that you might be looking forward to doing in the future when it comes to that?
I'm looking forward to the future, like doing like hitting lessons, just because I like being around kids and just being around the sport I love with kids who I also like helping. I definitely gonna come back to camps and stuff. That's for sure.
Have you had any surreal moments in softball where you saw someone play that you really idolized and you felt like you couldn't even be yourself around it because it's that much stardom, whether you want to say it? Because softball, they have a lot of them around here. I mean, for me, you got Peaches James,
Yeah.
you have Courtney Wallace, I mean, that's just from your school, not let alone like a Ruby Malin from Scott. And I
Mhm.
mean, they're out there.
Yeah. I'd definitely say my whole senior class, I was just like, wow, like this class is unbelievable. Like the things they've do and the things they've done is just crazy.
Well, you have some upper class or some underclassmen coming up. What is the legacy you think that they are looking for from you guys, and they're going to continue? Do you feel like they're going to come back as strong? Do you feel like they're starting over? Did you have a lot of seniors?
We did have a lot of seniors. I think our whole infield besides one was we have our whole infield and our whole outfield besides two are all leaving. Like we have pitcher and we have like second and center. So we have a lot of seniors and but like our whole lineup, there's 7 of us. So they
Ooh,
might have to, but they still have the pitching. So
and if you got the pitching,
yeah,
you got the first
yeah.
step.
hmm
Finishing your senior year, what is it going to be like when you walk across that stage? What is that feeling? What do you think? I mean, it's coming so fast. I mean, I'm pretty sure you got the cap and gown ordered. Had to
Yep.
go last week. Senior pictures. What is it trying to put all together, but still be the athlete and still be the kid? I think sometimes people don't understand that it's not always easy just to go be a kid when
Yeah.
you're so busy with all those going on.
I'm just trying to enjoy and cherish every moment. Like go to like every little thing that high school has, like football games, volleyball games, like that kind of stuff. And it's gonna be a mix of emotion. I'm gonna be happy I'm leaving high school, but I'm also gonna be sad because I'm gonna miss some of my friends and gonna be like nervous. I don't know, just a bunch of
No,
feelings.
you'd never know until you get there.
Yeah,
Of course, your school is going to be remembered for what you guys have brought to the table as far as championships and as far as that. So just know that you guys left it better than what you received it. Do you remember where you were the first day you walked into school and where you are today? Is this kind of where you thought you'd be?
yeah, it definitely is. My freshman year, I was a little quiet, shy, just walking around like class to class, and now I'm like talking to like every person I see in the hallway, and I'm like leading the softball and basketball team. Like I'm like the leaders, and I'm telling them like let's go, like let's lock in, like we got to do this.
Now, where did you feel like you gravitated to become that leader? Where do you think you got that from? Who was the one that kind of instilled that for you?
I think I just got more comfortable with the coaches, so I was like able to be myself more. But I'd also say Chloe Hamblin. She like really got me out of my shell because I've been playing with her since I was really young, and she's just like the loud, talkative one. So she told me that it was gonna be me and her, and we were gonna do this, do all the talking, because she was also on varsity my freshman year as well. So I kind of had her all throughout my high school career.
And if you think of varsity when you're as a freshman and you think of where you guys are today, is the group still compact together, or do you
Yes.
think you lost more than you stuck together?
I think we're all still compacted together.
I think that's something that people don't understand how important, because in this day and age, it's kind of like your club experience. You went to a couple teams, you dibbled dabbled. Your parents always look for what's best for you and your family, not. And I say that because, of course, you could have been you could have been local, you could have been in town, but when they're always looking for that different stuff, some people don't accept it. The transfer portal's a thing in high school, no matter what you say. What do you think was the key for these girls to stick together? And what did anybody ever talk about possibly going somewhere where you're like, I don't know if that's a good decision? How about
I don't think anyone talked about ever leaving. There was like one girl who transferred out, but that's because she didn't think she was going to play. But that was also freshman year. But everyone else, I think they were just strictly Monarchs. Like, I just love the coaches, the team, like everything that they've brought to the table. They've have nothing to really complain about it.
I think, and that's the good part, is what you guys brought to the table is an experience that will be forever remembered. When you think of leaving that UNO and you thought that was your last high school softball game, what was that night like, and how did you what time, I mean, what time did you calm down? Because that got over after, like, close
Yeah.
to 10, if not later.
Well, we did have school the next day, but we were out till like I want to say like 11:30. Like we took pictures till like 10, then we went to Good Life and partied there. And it was just I don't really think I was that sad. Like I was like I just accomplished my goal. Like I'm still gonna see them. Like we just did this, and I was about Wednesday when my high ran off.
That's right. Of course, you have other girls that are on your club teams that are for these other high schools. How did those competitions go for you, and how did you guys still reconcile later on? Because of course they got the same goals, they have the same dreams that you had.
Yeah. I think it came easy for us. It's just really like the girls we're really tight. Like we've all like the
Because
four
I
people on
saw
my
other
team.
teams there
Yeah.
watching you,
Yeah.
you girls, like from other schools. So I knew
Yeah.
that it wasn't just a coincidence. I knew
No.
there was a connection. I knew it was they wanted to support, even though they might have been wearing their school stuff.
Yeah. It's club. Like we all like travel around, like we all have other friends. It's just like the softball community. Like we'll play like a team and we'll like, oh, that person's really good and we know them and we're like, hey, you did really good, like that stuff. It's just like the softball community, I guess.
I think one of the things that always gets forgotten is the teamship. The you're there to win, but you're also there to make memories. Obviously, you said club was just to play. What is your number one memory from there that you'll remember, and what's your number one thing from high school?
Club, my favorite memory is probably just last year. Like we were really good last year. We won like almost every tournament we played, and we got to travel to a lot of cool places like Colorado again. And then high school definitely is state tournament, just like the atmosphere, like going out, winning my senior year, like the team, everything, just about it.
Was there anything that you wish you would have accomplished at either that you might not have gotten, whether it's a record, whether it's a goal that you just personally set?
I think I would have rather had like a better like all around season. Like I wish I could have been more consistent in the beginning as well, and not just like towards the end. Like I wish I could have like hit the ball better.
And when you look for that consistency, what's some things that you're going to do to make sure that that's what Northern State gets?
Just practicing outside of practices, lifting, getting stronger, keep my work ethic going.
Well, I greatly appreciate your story. I greatly appreciate your willingness to know that you're going to be a leader no matter where it is. You're going to lead the team. You started out shy, you grew out of that. You showed how your team came together. Coach Peterson obviously helps. Coach Holscher. I mean, just having those people around. What did it mean also to have like Jordy Ball's brother around? Now he's obviously going to his next step. He's going to go be a firefighter. So you're getting to see them be around you and be a part of it, but then they're going to do dreams. Does that kind of help you understand that you'll be able to get through that process to get to your dream of being on the FBI?
Yeah, for sure. He's a really like sweet, nice guy. He's definitely helped me through a lot of things. He knows like what I'm capable of, and he'll just keep reminding me of like the great things I've done.
It's those little impacts of these coaches, these players to each other that really make it important that hopefully one student athlete or one parent just sees this and goes, a student can start out and have the roughest time in their freshman year, but doesn't mean that they realize it. But when they do and they start working outside, it does take that extra, the outside work. What was it like when you speak of outside work mentally that you had to overcome to say of how important that was? Was it the fact that you were looking to go to college or find a way to college, or was it just you just wanted to do good for the team that you were playing for at that time that you were practicing?
Yeah, my dream was to play college softball, so I was working to get to where I wanted to be, and I wanted to play for a good team, and I also wanted to be good for my team. Like, I wanted to be one of the better players and like be like a big leader and make a big impact for my high school and club team.
Well, once again, this is a Hurrdat production of Wired Access Podcast. Once again, we have Kamira Botos. I appreciate her hanging out from Papillion-La Vista, the Monarchs, the champs for softball. That's 3 softball episodes in a row. A lot of knowledge, a lot of people that have success, but they had struggles to get to that success. You know why? Because you're not alone. Remember, if you like this episode or any other, hit that subscribe down below, hit the thumbs up, let other people know about this episode and others. We appreciate you supporting Wired Access Podcast. See ya.